Okay, so today is December 5th, Thursday, December 5th, 2024. I hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving weekend. It is now December. It is now the holiday season, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, winter solstice. There's probably others that I've either forgotten or just never knew about. I hope we all have a happy holiday season. I had a good weekend. Sorry, I don't know why I said that very confusingly. I was just trying to remember what happened. It's like I remember having a good one. Spent time with my family, had some nice food. Like on Thanksgiving, like around 10 or so, I kind of went into town, hung out with some of my friends. I played Splatoon with the boys at like 1:30 in the morning, and it was honestly a really good time. There's like really good shit all around. So let me go ahead and get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. Number one, as you might be able to see, my hair. And I don't have all the hair out here that I can flip like I'm Galinda the Good Witch. We're going to put a pin in that, by the way. I've been saying for a while, it's like, I want to do something with my hair because I have so much of it. It's always in my face. I'm always like messing with it. So today, actually, I said, fuck it. I'm going to borrow a hair tie from my mom and like put it in a ponytail. I don't know how well you can really see it, but I'm like, I think that would be kind of nice. I like ponytails. I'm actually like a real sucker for ponytails, by the way. I'm like, let me try it. And I kind of looked at myself a little bit and thought, you know what? I kind of look cute as fuck. I like this. I think I look kind of nice. There's still a lot here. It's still kind of getting in my eyes, so I'm still going to be messy with it a bit. But this feels better. It feels, I don't know if I want to say cleaner, because I never felt like my hair was super dirty, but it feels, I guess, fresher or something. And I think you kind of get what I mean. But I like it. I think it's a nice look. Another housekeeping thing I wanted to get out of the way is what I want to do in December in terms of videos. So obviously we got our regularly scheduled program. We got our CTT videos. I just finished yesterday going through like my top anime. So I did like 2 videos, was it 2 or 3? I think it was 2 videos just going like, here are some of the alternates for my 10 list, and then 3 videos on the top 10. So that is done. That is one of the things I wanted to do in December, and it's already taken care of. I plan on, here's another quick pen, but I plan on doing a Wukong tier list this weekend with a couple friends of mine. It looks like we've all got some availability Sunday, which means I'm probably not going to be watching football on Sunday, which sucks, but I'm very much looking forward to doing this, because I did not play Wukong with these two. One of them we played a little bit with, but they played it together. I played it separately, and we're going to come together, discuss the game, discuss the bosses, because I guess I'll go ahead and take the pin out, and no, never mind. Let me go ahead and finish all the housekeeping shit, and then we'll just talk about Wukong. So other videos I want to do, I want to fucking do that stuff for Worm. I've been saying it for several months now. It's like, I'm going to rewatch all my videos. I'm not going to do that, because I'm sorry. I just keep not doing it. If I'm just saying like, I gotta go through all of Worm and remember what happened to do the videos, these videos are never gonna happen. So I think in the next week or so, at some point, I'm gonna bite the bullet and say, let me just sit down and talk about Worm. At the very least, I want to do a tier list of all the arcs. That one to me feels more important than doing a character tier list. I would like to do a character tier list. I think that would be very fun. There are a lot of fucking characters in Worm, and I don't know, I guess I don't know like how extensive the tier lists are, because I feel like there would be a lot of people I'm like, I don't remember you, I don't remember you, I don't remember you, I don't remember. Hey, Fierce, I really liked this dude like the 2 seconds he was on screen. Don't remember you, don't remember you. And I feel like there are some characters I could talk about for a while, like Panacea and Taylor and Lisa. And like, again, like, it's something I'm still considering, but I really, really want to do the arc tier list. So, okay. Favorite anime, done. Wukong should be done this weekend. Worm, I want to get at least the arcs done in the next week or so. Maybe the characters as well. And I've talked about it. I haven't started rewatching it yet, but I'm going to rewatch Guilty Crown, and I want that to be a Christmas video. Talking about this fucking piece of shit. And who knows? maybe, see, like I say, it keeps falling in my face. I still have to do stuff with it. Maybe, just maybe, I will rewatch Guilty Crown and go, you know what? It's better than I thought it was. I was way too harsh on it. It's actually good. Or, you know, it's still a mess. But there are a lot of things that do work. Like, it doesn't work as a whole, but there are a lot of parts that work. Or maybe I will rewatch it and go like, no, this is like one of the worst things I've ever seen. Merry Christmas. I don't know. But I think it's something that to me sounds like a very appealing project, weirdly enough. And when it comes to the end of the year tier list, like here are my favorite movies, here's my favorite games, I'm not going to do that till January. I think that's what I did last year. And that's what makes the most sense to me. Yes, this is the end of the year, but I would rather let the year finish. Let's, like, once December is done, and, like, if this is now locked in, this is everything I did in 2024 in terms of games, or in terms of media. Now I can actually rank them. I think that's what I'm going to do. Excuse me. So I believe that's all the housekeeping and video stuff to talk about. So let me take out the worm pin, or excuse me, the Wukong pin. Sorry, it also starts with a W. I did finally finish Wukong. I did it on Thanksgiving. If not, it was I think it was on Thanksgiving. And I remember, no, that's right, because it was later that day, because I recorded it in the morning. Because I remember in the morning doing the sunrise video and saying, I'm going to be done with the game by the end of this weekend. Whether that means I beat the game or not, I'm at a point where I just want to be done. I want to be able to move on to other shit, which I still haven't yet. I have Metaphor, I just haven't started it yet. And I was fighting the final boss, and I was getting worked. And at one point I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the theme to Pride FC. A song that, from my understanding, was written when the composer, I believe he had just lost his father, and he talked about how I wanted to write something to overcome and defeat my weakness. Something that would say, I will not lose again. Which, very different situation than me saying, I just want to beat a boss in a video game. But I kind of needed just that, like, what's the word I want? Like, I don't know if I just say push. Like, just this, that feeling in my gut and in my soul that, like, I'm not giving up. I might stumble, I might fall, I won't break. And then I got to the second phase, and, like, I died again, and I was really mad and upset. And there's a part of me at one point where I was like, I'm gonna stop, I can't do this. I'm like, no. You will not lose. No. So, I fucked with my setup a tiny bit, because at first, the vessel I was using was the fan, because the fan works really well against the stone monkey. It does not work very well on, I actually don't know technically what the name of, like, the final boss is. I don't remember if it was, like, Wukong something, but I'm just gonna call him Sun Wukong. He's just kind of dodging the fan. Like, you can get a couple free hits in, but it's not worth it the way it is against the monkey, or stone monkey, or Erlang. I tried the needle, and the needle really wasn't doing work, so I said, okay, let me use the cape. Let me actually, or not the fire cape, let me use, like, the wind one, because it also gives me, like, damage reduction, and it does kind of knock him back, and he's not, like, super open, but you can get a good few hits in. I was like, okay, I keep running out of mana, because I switched out Immobilize with Ring of Flame. He's like, okay, I keep running out of mana. I feel like if I had another, like, Ring of Fire or two, I could do this. Is there a drink that can increase my mana? Oh, there is. It only has 2 soaks, though. So I went like, all right, one that gives me damage reduction, and the one that says, hey, there's a considerable chance you might not use a thing from your gourd. It's like, okay, I got a new drink. I'm using a new vessel. I'm gonna kick his ass. And I played the theme to Pride FC. And I was kicking his ass. And then we get the next song that just happened to be in the the playlist, which is Song of Hope, or like Kibo no Uta by Flow, which you may or may not recognize as the song that plays in Battle of the Gods when Goku is fighting Beerus. And I'm like, huh. A song about saying, I will not lose, followed by a song of a monkey fighting a god, fighting this insurmountable foe and pushing his limits in a duel for everything. This is kind of fitting. And I did it. It's like, there's the part of me that goes like, first try, because like, all right, after I fucked with my setup, I did get him on the first try. Part of that is also, after several failed attempts, I had a much better idea of how his pattern worked. I could kind of pick my battles, pick my spots a little bit better. So, in a way, but not really at all. But I did beat him. The game is done. I don't want to just do like a video talking about Wukong, because the more I thought about it, I thought, A, doing a tier list with my friends who've also played the game, being able to talk to them about their experiences sounds really fun, but also, it's a Souls-like game. It's still very different in a lot of aspects, which is why I actually played through it. But at its core, it's very Souls adjacent. And I feel like the best way to talk about a game like that, unless you get really into the lore, I know a lot of people do, would just be to like, all right, let me just do like a ranking video and just talk about all the bosses that I fought. This one sucked. Here's why this one sucked. Here's why this one sucked. Here's why this one's pretty good. Here's why these bosses are incredible and are like why I kept playing the game kind of thing. I feel like that's good. I'll probably talk about other mechanics and such a little bit throughout the video. I don't know, like, we'll see. Maybe I should kind of do a separate video. Maybe that's what I'll do, is do a shorter video, which we all know that's very funny because I can't do that. But maybe actually be like, all right, let me talk about Wukong for like 15 to 20 minutes. Here's the things that work, here's the things that don't, and then the tier list, like, here's the actual long form video. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I know I can't do it because I'm loquacious to a fault. Let me have this. Let me have my fantasy. Let me have my delusion. But, speaking of games that I beat, last night, it was with Jose. Jose and I finished our playthrough of KH1. Finished, talk about that in a second. But real quick, something I gotta say, there is something magical and kind of otherworldly about playing Kingdom Hearts and watching the Boondocks on the other monitor, because Jose was like, yeah, I just like felt like watching the Boondocks. We were watching like the R. Kelly episode while he's fighting Chernabog. It was so funny. Oh gosh, I love the Boondocks. Anyways, so we finished End of the World, we finished the story. There's still other shit we want to do. It's like, all right, we want to do the Hades Cup, want to do the optional bosses. We already got all the puppies, because, oh my god, Aroga is phenomenal. Fun fact, we're like level 55, because all the levels you get from beating the game and End of the World don't actually count, which sucks. So I got, like, 5, because we had XP ring on, and wow, that shit was cooking. Without arrow up, Xemnas just straight up kills us in 1 hit. Oh, that's gonna suck, because that I've never done, because something I've said, I believe, several times, my experience with Kingdom Hearts is mostly on original hardware, where Xemnas was not in the game. So this is like, I've seen it before, because I have played Final Mix before. I was like, I'm good, I don't really give a shit. We are gonna fight Xemnas. I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm fucking scared. Oh, it looks like ass. I think the way Clay described it is, you're fighting a Kingdom Hearts 2 boss, but you're playing Kingdom Hearts 1. It does not go very well for you. Also, let me just bitch about Kingdom Hearts lore for a second. So you walk into that room in Hollow Bastion, and Xemnas shows up, and he's in the coat and shit. And they're like, Ansem, is that you? He's like, Ansem, that's a familiar name. I'm like, okay, like, I could believe that, you know, he's Xehanort took the name of his master and shit, so Ansem, and I get it. But then, when he's talking to Sora, he's like, you remind me of him. You are incomplete. And I'm like, okay. When you say he reminds you of him, this is very clearly you're talking about Roxas. I don't know who else you would be talking about. You wouldn't be talking about Ven, because Xemnas has never met Ven. Sure, Master Xehanort has met Ven, and sure, Terranort knows Ven, because that's Terra. However, he had all his memories, like, wiped after he got his ass beat by Aqua, so he would not remember Ven at all. So if Sora reminds him of anyone, it's Roxas. So Roxas was born, like, 10 minutes ago. That's a bit of an exaggeration. Like, at most, what, like, a day? 3 hours? So him's like, you remind me of this person that I literally just met and have no real connection to. Because the way granted, it's text. There's no voice acting here. But the way it's presented, to me, kind of feels like, it's like, no, you remind me of someone that, like, I know. Like, you barely know Rox. Like, what the fuck is this? It's, Also, I know I've talked about it before, but I just saw it a few days ago, so let me rant about it again. So, in Kingdom Hearts lore, when you get your heart stolen by a Heartless, the heart itself either, like, turns into the Heartless or goes into Kingdom Hearts, and the body that is left behind, the hollowed out husk, becomes a nobody. And if your heart is strong enough, the nobody will, like, look like you. And then if it's not, you turn to, like, a Dusk or a Gambler or a Dancer, etc., etc., etc. If you're no one special, your body is nothing special. If you were someone special with a strong enough heart, you look like you. Cool. So, when this... Oh, wow, I'm actually mad. Okay, so when this actually happens, and Sora takes that super Keyblade, stabs himself in the heart, which, real quick, by the way, the fact that he does this with no hesitation, he's like, Kairi, like, I have to save Kairi, bet. Doesn't, like, give any kind of speech, doesn't say, like, anything to Donald and Goofy. He just gives them a smile, like, I gotta do what I gotta do, and I love you guys. Boom. I fucking love Sora. That's my boy. Anyways, point. So he does that shit, and you see, like, Kairi's heart go outside of him, and then all the other, like, hearts of the princesses gather. You don't see Ven's heart, even though that shit's supposed to be in Sora the entire time, and because on original hardware, you can't, God, I could go over, okay, on original hardware, you get the another side, another story thing, right? Which means Kingdom Hearts 2 was planned, which means Roxas was planned, meaning all of this shit was planned, and they couldn't even get the fucking basics right. Because if Roxas is Sora's body, he should look like Sora. And the reason he doesn't is because of the thing with Ven and Ven's heart, which you don't see when Sora does this. And also, there's no body left that turns into Roxas. And Sora, as a Heartless, gets hugged by Kairi and then just gets his body back, which also isn't Roxas. Meaning, none of this shit makes sense. None of the lore is consistent, even though it's clearly planned already. What the fuck? Yes, I feel better. Thank you for listening to me rant about Kingdom Hearts lore. I appreciate it greatly. But we did finish the main story. We're gonna do some side shit. Our stats at the end of the game showed that we used a grand total of 0 healing spells on Donald and Goofy. And there's something really funny. We were like, my friends are my power. This is a game all about the power of friendship. I'm also not going to heal my friends ever. Pretty funny to me. Let's see. I talked about how I made the anime video already. That was part of housekeeping. I'm wearing my Saints shirt. The Saints lost to the Rams in the Dome because, of course. And now Taysom Hill is out for the season because, of course. And the Falcons lost, so the Saints could have gained ground, but didn't because, of course. And the Bucks had a chance to lose, but they didn't because, of course. It was just like this was a very Saints week of football. We won 2 games in a row. Apparently, that's all we can muster. The ride at the start of the season was fun while it lasted. The ride of Rizzy Ball was fun while it lasted. Are we eliminated from the playoffs yet? Technically, no, which means I still have hope. But no. Could we win the division? Technically, mathematically, yes, but just no. No, it's all fucked. At least there's next year. Which is what I've been saying for the past couple seasons. Like, is this how Giants fans feel? Oh man, it hasn't been fun. It's been rough, buddy. Couple other things to talk about. So with Orichalcum, I talked about how I finished the drafts of those last few chapters. So I had Clay go ahead and read them. Not all of them. There's 2 left he hasn't read. So we read 3 of the last 5. And so that first one, he's like, okay, really good, but the ending feels kind of like weird. Do something here. I'm like, okay, got it. And then the second part, he's like, okay, really good, but this part's a little weird. This part's a little weird. And then this part, really cool, but I want to see more of like her actual thoughts as shit is happening. Like, okay, makes sense. Probably should have been there already. Cool. And then the next one, he's like, okay, so this one's dog shit. And here's what's weird about it, because the individual beats are good, but the way that they're like structured and the pacing of it is just off. And I feel like there's a couple big things that are really missing. And it also ends too quickly. This one needs a lot of work. I'm like, okay. So that means I can fix it. And I know how to fix it. So I did. And apparently all 3 of them are like way better now, which I really appreciate. So the next 2, one of them I'm like just kind of looking at, I was like, okay, yeah, this one was also fucking dog shit. Let me go ahead and start fixing it. And then the last chapter, it's a chapter that to me just feels weird. And partly this is a character that is not narrated in the story at all yet. Like, she just kind of gets the epilogue. And it's kind of supposed to be weird and feel weird, but I don't know if it's like this is an interesting kind of fun weird, or if it's like, no, it's just kind of dog shit. So I'll have Clay look at it at some point, and there's a part of me that's like, okay, part of me wants to leave it as is, maybe clean it up a little bit, mostly leave it as is. There's another part of me that says I might have to just like rewrite a lot of it, I don't know. Another part of me is saying maybe I should scrap it. We'll see, but it is coming along. I think if I were to scrap that chapter, the book is still about like 350 or 360 pages. It's like, it has a pretty decent length. In terms of word count, I think I'm at like 95K ish. So I think like in terms of length, like it's Gucci. There's a lot to edit. And that's what this draft was. A lot of this was editing and making necessary rewrites. So I don't think the editing is going to be super substantial now, but it is just like, all right, let's make sure that everything flows, it's consistent. If there's some parts in the prose that are a little weird, need some tightening, let's go ahead and fix that. I don't know how long that'll take, because right now I really just want to hone in on like getting the individual chapters right that have just been drafted. But hopefully that'll be soon, and then we can get back into Severance, which I've been saying for a while. I actually heard back from the artist earlier this week, who had essentially said, like, okay, the stuff that I'm working on is almost done. I should be good to go again in January. I'm like, hey, that's kind of what I'm hoping to get back into Severance, so that works out super well. I think I mentioned this too. I'm just kind of getting art from other people, not from the project, but like one was a Severance character. I've gotten art of other Orichalcum characters. I'm really happy with them. Like, these look so good. These look so nice. I really like my characters. This is awesome. So that's all good. Let me take that other pin out. So I did watch Wicked. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it, because I don't know what I really want to say. Because I've never read the book. I've never seen the musical. So I don't have anything to really compare it to in that regard. It's just kind of on face value. And on face value, I had a great time. I love musicals. Like, yes, Defying Gravity is a phenomenal song. It's a really cool moment. I think Popular is probably my favorite song because of just how funny and entertaining it is. But the whole dancing through life bit, both like when they're in the library and they're doing the cool shit with like the clocks and the ladders, and then like when they're at the, what was it called? Like Ozdust or whatever, like when they're at the club, just all of the dancing. Like, this is why I love musicals. I love the choreography. I love the set design. I like the songs. I like getting into a character's head and knowing what they're feeling through music. I had a really fun time with it. I would highly recommend it. I feel like that's kind of all I have to say, which is why I'm like, I don't really know if I can make a video. Also, now that I have the ponytail, I can't really do it, but just the fucking hair flip. that shit's funny as hell. I do have one more thing to talk about. I didn't write this in my notes because it didn't happen until last night, because I usually try to do my notes like Wednesday morning or so. But it is far too important to not talk about. Operation Italy. The newest episode of Survivor 40 Several. Bravissimo. I loved this episode so much. So, I have said it numerous times on this channel across all kinds of different videos. I love heists. I am a sucker for a heist. It's why I love the first Mistborn book so much. I'm like, this is a fantasy heist. This is the coolest shit I've ever seen. This is a heist episode of Survivor. And like, they edit it as such. It's like, all right, now here's your characters making their plan. They're talking about how insane the plan is. Like, all right, this is my role in the heist. This is my role in the heist. This is what I'm doing in the heist. And like a good heist, the plan goes to shit like part way through. Like, oh shit, our target just won immunity. Oh man, our plan to have a 3-2-2 vote split might not happen because they might not split the votes 2-2. Because they're worried bullshit might happen. Oh man, I don't know. It's like, oh, Caroline's the new target, but Sue might play her idol on Caroline. She even said, like, hey, if you're in danger, I will play it on you. I will save you. So you're seeing all the different ways that the plan is going to shit, like a good heist. And just like a good heist, not necessarily that it's all according to plan, but the plan is still pulled off, and they're able to be successful. It was so fun to watch, and I won't lie, I was spoiled on it, because like I've been saying, I tend to watch Survivor like an hour or so later, and I just kind of opened up Twitter, and one of the first things I see is, man, Andy, Sam, and Genevieve just did like a 3-2-2 vote split. So I'm like, well, shit, that sounds incredible. I can't wait to see it, but I now know what happened. I don't know who got sniped. And then as I'm watching the episode, I'm like, they're going to get Rachel. I've been saying for the past few weeks that Rachel's winning. Like, holy shit, am I just completely wrong? No, she won immunity. Oh shit, who's it going to be? Oh, it's Caroline. Shit, I like Caroline. It's like, granted, I really like most of this cast. At this point of everyone left, I'll say kind of including Caroline, the two people that I'm just not feeling as much. Number one is Sue. And a lot of that is just from at least from the edit. Because again, that's all I can vouch for and all I can, judge. Kyle just seemed like the nicest dude. Just a really nice, genuine soul. And Sue just hated his guts. And I get it. Like, he wrote my name down. His ass is grass. But it was to a point where I'm like, I don't know anymore. Like, Katura and Bruce, I got it. It was, for a long time, really all the content she was getting, which was kind of frustrating, but it was really funny. And it was from a genuine, like, dude, he just rubs me the wrong way, and the more I get to know him, the more he rubs me the wrong way. And I'm like, as someone who enjoyed Bruce, I can see it, I get it. With Kyle, this seems like a really nice guy, and there's the Tweedledee, Tweedledum thing, which is something we never saw Kyle say. We only know about it, I think Sue only knows about it because of Rome, who was someone who had a reputation for stirring up trouble and lying. So, and maybe Kyle did say that, like, again, I don't know, but it almost seems like, someone who's incredibly untrustworthy and has been proven to be a liar told me something about someone I don't like. Therefore, it must be true. And it's not like Sue's the most unlikable person of all time or anything. It's just like, this is a big chunk of your character, and I'm just not crazy about it. The other person I'm just not big on anymore is Teeny, and a lot of it was this episode. I've liked Teeny. I found Teeny to be a likable person, and then just all the vitriol towards Sam. We're like, I like Sam. He's not my favorite by any means. Like, I like the dude. And again, I'm only seeing the edit. But from the edit, it's like, no, he seems like he's a pretty nice guy. He seems like he's a pretty likable, charming dude. And Teeny's just like, I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If a catch flight's gonna be direct. It is just like, you are everything that I hate. And you had the audacity to not take me on reward. I've seen a lot of people compare it to what happened last season with Liz and her not getting picked on the reward by Q and her like, oh, I'm pissed. And it's similar, but it feels different. Because throughout the season, we've seen Liz talk about how there's just a lot of food I can't eat because I'm allergic. It's not just like, hey, I'm a vegan, it's a diet choice. It's like, I literally can't do this. So I am starving, I am struggling, and I just kind of need an outlet for this. And granted, she did not win the reward. She was not entitled to anything. Q could do whatever he wanted. It's like, it's a little shitty he didn't take her, but you know what? I'm really not going to shit on him for that. But then we find out later that behind the scenes, something that wasn't shown, is apparently Kenzie and Tiff tried to give up their reward so Liz could go, and Q put his foot down and said, no, I won the reward, and I'm picking y'all. I don't want to take Liz. I'm taking you. And that is what caused the outburst. And again, Q won the reward. He can do that. And it fits very much in Q's character from what we saw in the edit, and that's hilarious. But it makes Liz's outburst even more understandable, that other people were saying, you need this more than me, it's okay, and someone else said, no, fuck you. With Teeny, it really came across as, so I just don't like Sam, and I've wanted him gone for a really, really long time. But I'm probably the closest thing to a lifeline he has in this game, and I'm not gonna help him. But I want him to help me, and the fact that he didn't just reaffirms what a fucking piece of shit he is. That's how it felt, and I'm like, this is... And granted, like I said, I don't know what their relationship is really like. I'm not on the island being super stressed, having like my bag fall in the fire like a couple nights ago. I've been backstabbed and betrayed by people. I'm hungry as fuck. I get it. It wasn't the most endearing or likable look. And then there was their conversation with Genevieve, where Jen's like, yeah, here's the thing. I think you should help us get rid of Rachel because Rachel is such a big fucking threat. Like, if you and Rachel are sitting together at the end, I'm probably voting Rachel because Rachel's an incredible player. And Teeny's like, oh, so you're threatening me that if I don't help you, you're not going to vote for me. No, that's not really what I said. And again, granted, Genevieve is someone who has betrayed her in the past, so there's a lot of beef there. And again, being hungry and frustrated and going through Survivor, you're probably going to be distrustful in that kind of way because people in Survivor have used those kinds of tactics. It just was like, this is a character that I have been and I don't want to say like character because these are real people. But with the way the edit is, like, everyone is a character. And this is a character I have enjoyed, but really did not like in this episode. And it's not like, man, now I hope you lose and everything goes to shit. But it's, I'm not as on board as I was previously compared to Rachel. Like, this is now my winner pick, and I think she's great. And I'm saying this as someone who was like really loved Genevieve and really wants to see a Genevieve win, as someone who loves Andy, especially after all this shit. Also, how the fuck did you not call it the Italian Job? But all right. But I really like him. And like, yeah, I've enjoyed Sam as well. this has been a really great season. And I have to eat my words. Where the first couple episodes, like, I'm not buying it. Like, I don't know. This feels okay. It's like, whatever. Now I'm like, ooh, we got a good one, boys. But, yeah, I think that's basically my week. Hey, what do you know? This one didn't take a fucking hour. We take that. I can't make shorter videos. Let's go. Keeping the delusion alive. So I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully, if everything goes to plan, that'll be the Wukong tier list, which again, we might split into like multiple videos. We'll see how it goes. Or next week, where I can get a worm video out. We'll see. We're hoping for it. We'll go as we go.